beautiful creative people. This is Kyla Givehan coming to you for book 15 for the Book in a Day series. And book 15 is a huge number. I'm excited. And I thought that I would do something where I show the first 15 books and talk about it, but I think I'm going to reserve that for book 20. When we get to book 20, I will sort of recap the first 20 books and then we'll go from there. So today I'm doing something a little different because I'm, first of all, making the book on a Saturday, which I usually don't do. It is 6 o'clock on Saturday the 13th, and it's been a crazy week. It was virtually impossible for me to do a book on Thursday this week. So I said, you know what? It's not called Book on a Thursday. It's called Book in a Day, and it doesn't matter which day of the week I do it in. So here I am on a Saturday, starting pretty late at 6 p.m. But the book that I'm doing today is actually inspired by one of the members of the givinghands.ning.com site. Her name is Lori, and Lori is an amazing artist. She does beautiful work. She is also spearheading the very first ever Giving Hands art journal swap, which we're calling a round robin art journal swap. So I received Lori's journal today, or not today, but I received Lori's journal, and when I got it and took it out of the envelope, I was just, wow, it's beautifully done, and I love the binding that she has used, and the material is like a canvas material. So I emailed her and I was like, Lori, your book has inspired me, your art journal has inspired me to make book 15 using your structure. And she was like, oh, thank you, that's wonderful. And I said, I love the canvas on the cover. And she wrote back, it's actually not canvas. It is a pair of old khakis that she cut and used gesso on. And so this is the book. And it has this beautiful flap on the cover. And it is, it's two signatures. And she has a binding that is visible on the outside, and she's done these amazing, wonderful swirls right into the gesso. They are just, it's gorgeous. It's an amazing, and the colors, purple, which is like my color this year, purple seems to keep showing up in my life. So when I took this out of the package, everything about it spoke to me. So and I mean, even the artwork in it already, it has already gone through 2 people in our group, and I'm the 3rd person to receive the book, and I'll be making my art in it this weekend and sending it off tomorrow or on Monday. And so yeah, I'm super inspired by Lori's book, and I will be making a book that is like this one. That is an art journal, and then I will, yeah, so she has beautiful watercolor paper on the inside. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So this is the book that I'm going to make. I'm probably not making the same size as her yet. I don't know. I might. I'm going to look through my paper stash and see what I have. I definitely want to use watercolor paper on the inside. But I need to gesso, and I don't have a pair of old khakis to use, so I'm going to be using just some raw canvas that I have that I've not had anything to do with until now. So it's just raw canvas, and I'm going to rip it because it's pretty, you know, it's like a really big piece. It's huge. So I'm going to rip it and bring it down to size so that I can use this for my cover, which means I'm going to have to gesso it, which means several hours of drying time. I will be making a book very much like Lori's book, and that's going to be the book in a day. So I suspect that I will be done definitely before midnight. That's my plan and my goal. And I look forward to seeing what the rest of you are out there making. Folks have been sending me all sorts of emails with pictures of their books, which I love. It's awesome. And we've been posting on the Ning site. Lots of folks in the Book in a Day group inside of the Ning site have been posting photos of their books. And so yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to figure out what size paper I want to use because I have a lot of different pads here, and I think I'm probably going to end up using this, I have this Fabriano watercolor pad. Oh, that's sideways, sorry. Fabriano watercolor pad, and it is 9 by 12, so if I fold these pages, I think that's a pretty good size. If I fold the pages, I'll end up with 9 by 6, which I like. So I think that's what I'm going to do this week. And I'm going to probably rip out my pages first and then measure the size that I need for the cover. Rip the canvas, and then I will get to gessoing the canvas so that I can then come and throw lots of paint on it. Okay, so I will see you back on the other side of this. Okay, so my pages are folded, and I, again, 3 signatures, or 3 folios, three single sheets for each signature. So this will be the size of the book, and I need to measure the canvas. And I want to have a flap like Lori's book. So I think I want my flap like that for a flap. So I think I'm going to do that. And then that. So just going to mark right there. And I'm, yeah, perfect. Okay. So I went ahead and I marked pretty much just a idea of where the book would be placed once I get it on the canvas. I only want about 1/2 inch at the top of the book and the bottom of the book. And right now I have way more than that, so I'm going to chop some of it off. So, the canvas is mostly dry for the most part. I realized that I just sewed it with this lining and I probably should have stretched that out, but I'm fine with it because I'm about to paint on the top of this. So just to do a quick time check, it is 10 o'clock and I think I'm probably going to, so I decided that I wanted to do 3 signatures instead of 2. So I'm adding a 3rd signature to it. Part of me wants to add a 4th signature, so we'll see. I think I left enough flap to do that. If I decided I wanted to add another one, I could totally do that. Actually, I think I am. I'm going to add a 4th one. Maybe even a 5th one. We'll see. But I'm definitely going to add a 4th. And I'll be back. Alright, it is way later than I wanted it to be. 2:15 in the morning, but the book is done. A lot of the work was done off camera. I started doing the sewing, and I paused the camera for a second, and when I came back to sew, I realized the camera was not on, but I didn't realize that until, yeah, most of it was almost done. So I figured I'd just walk through or talk through what was done. So here's the final book, and I don't know if it is because I'm super tired or because I really thought it was a good idea, but I've named the book 15. And I think I'm going to keep it thematic, and I'm going to, because it's an art journal, I'm going to, each page will have something to do with the number 15. I haven't figured out what yet, but that's going to be the theme for this art journal as I create it. So as of right now, as it stands for a book in a day, it is a blank book. And I'll just walk you through it. So here's the ribbon. And 15. So I want to just say what I did on the side here. I really wanted it to have some dimension, something other than just this sort of flat surface. So I took used paper towels that I use to wipe things up as I'm working on other projects. And this one happened to have colors that were already similar to my color palette that I was using. So I just took these and ripped them up into tiny little pieces like this, and I used fluid matte medium and glued them onto the cover, to the spine of the cover, because I really wanted to have some dimension. I also wasn't happy with my sewing. I didn't want it to be seen for some reason. I thought this was better. I don't know. So anyway, I'm happy how it turned out. I'm glad that I did that. I like it a lot, so it was a good risk to take. So yeah, the paper towels, they do it's almost like they melt into the page, but then they add texture. So this texture is the paper towel, but it gives it another dimension. So I'm happy about it. Alright, so that's the cover. And you open it up, and it's waiting for me to do something. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put more on here. I just don't know what yet. And as I art journal in it, I will determine that. So it's just a blank book with different kinds of watercolor paper in it. And it has, I ended up going with 3 signatures instead of the 4 I talked about in the beginning. 4 felt like too much, especially if I want to have dimensional items on my pages. It will just really push it to the limit, I think. So I went with 3 instead of 4, and I added the ribbon, and I think everything else was done on camera, so you saw all the other parts. So this is book 15. It's an art journal, and yeah, my goal is maybe I'll write 15 new poems to go in it. I don't know yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but it will be an art journal for the next few months. I'm sure it will take me a few months to fill it up. So again, I want to say thank you to Lori for her wonderful, the book she sent. Let's bring it back out. Which is the book that inspired my book, and I tried to kind of stay in the same color scheme because her book did inspire the colors for sure, but it also inspired the structure. And thank you, Lori, for your beautiful artwork. I appreciate it. And so here's my Inspired by Lori art journal. So I hope that you will join me over at the Ning site or the blog, or over on my Facebook page or Twitter, and I look forward to connecting with you for book 16. I hope that you are doing something creative today. If not, find something creative to do and share it with the world. Thanks for watching.